Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're talking about some really crazy news out of the LCS. This is a competitive League of Legends scene in North America. Obviously we've known for a while now, like a couple of days, that CLOUD9 is going to be moving on from Licorice. They've all but announced it. Licorice has tweeted about it. There's been leaks and stuff on Reddit. It's been all over the place. That again, Licorice, who's been one of the best top laners in North America for a couple of years now. As CLOUD9 puts it, he was a rookie of the split. He was an LCS finalist. He's an LCS champion. He's a world semifinalist. All that stuff. He's done for CLOUD9 the last couple of years. He's meant so much to the organization and really so much to just North America in general as one of their real homegrown talents that's been able to be fairly competitive on the international stage. But again, they are moving on from him, partly, I'm sure, due to the fact that he is going to demand an absolutely massive contract being a homegrown North American player. NA already pays a ton, and they pay even more for resident players because it is so valuable to have, because obviously a lot of people are using their import slots, so you need to have really strong North American players. So Licorice is going to go somewhere and get absolutely paid. CLOUD9 is not really an organization known for paying, or for sure not overpaying for their players. And just due to the fact that the OPL has kind of dissolved and Oceanic players are now residents in North America, CLOUD9 has Fudge, an Oceanic top laner in their academy. People are really hyped about him, so they're comfortable with promoting Fudge to the CLOUD9 main roster, and that makes them able to sell off Licorice, and I'm sure they're going to get a ton of money selling off for Licorice, and that is something CLOUD9 has always been known to do. They develop young players, and then they sell them off for a bunch of money. It has been very successful for them because they've been able to make a ton of money, which has been tough to do in esports recently. You know, a lot of the teams aren't making money year after year. But also, it still allowed them to remain very competitive because they've had insane scouting and development. Now, without Reaper as their coach, it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue to develop these players, but this is still their business model of being able to make a ton of money to spend other places by selling off their players, hopefully at peaks. But what's crazy is figuring out where Licorice is going to go next. Obviously, he has talked about the scenario. He said, CLOUD9 told me last week I won't be a part of the team in 2021. I'm so proud I could help bring the trophy home for all the C9 fans, which is something they had definitely been talking about for a while, because CLOUD9 had been pretty successful in North America. They've been successful on the international stage, making it to the semifinals at Worlds, but they'd never won a trophy with this iteration. And obviously they were finally able to do that in the spring split of 2020. So that was a big moment for all those players and the organization. Changing teams is part of being a pro, and I'm ready to compete with a new team next year. So that doesn't sound too bad. He did talk about my final C9 videos up on their channel. It was hard to film. I'm so grateful for all the support during my time here, and I really do hope I keep making you proud, which is a nice tweet because obviously this is the organization he came up in. He does definitely owe a lot to them, and they owe a lot to him. And it seems like not like a nasty ending to this relationship. CLOUD9 also tweeted out the end of an era, which is absolutely crazy. This kind of era of CLOUD9 is gone. That team that made it to the semifinals, they don't have any of these players anymore. Licorice, Sven, Jensen, Sneaky, and Zazel, they are all off of CLOUD9. CLOUD9 has an entirely new team just 2 years after making it to the semifinals of Worlds in 2018. That is pretty insane. But again, as far as Licorice, talking about where he's going to go, I initially thought going to FlyQuest would make the most sense for him. But it turns out there are rumors from Travis Gafford and Jacob Wolf, other people, big names in the esports industry, that FlyQuest is going to be blowing up their roster. Who knows if it's because their players are getting big offers from outside, or if their team just doesn't have the money, or what's going on, because FlyQuest was really good this year. Maybe they're spending too much money, maybe they're losing money, maybe they just need to make some different decisions. But it sounds like that roster is going to be almost entirely blown up. So that makes FlyQuest not really a landing spot for Licorice, because he's probably going to try and get on a team that's trying to win NA, win Worlds, not a team that's trying to rebuild. So then the two rumored locations for Licorice are, right now it looks like TSM is in talks with Licorice, and it looks like TSM is willing to move on from brokenblade, which is absolutely huge news, because like, brokenblade is a great personality. He's definitely a great player. He has high highs, but he also has very low lows. Licorice is much more consistent, and would probably fit in really well with a team like TSM. The other option is Golden Guardians that people are talking about. People are talking about if Golden Guardians goes with Licorice, then Haunter would most likely move on to Dignitas, which would also be pretty good for Dignitas, because I think Haunter is, again, a very solid North American top laner. But that would be absolutely crazy for GGS. If they are able to add a carry top laner to pair alongside FBI, all of a sudden GGS could be a potential team to win the championship, because GGS took TSM, who eventually won the entire thing. GGS beat TSM in one series and then played them very, very well in a second series. So that team with Licorice in the top lane could be really, really scary. But yeah, I just thought that was really, really interesting that they're talking about those being the two potential landing spots for Licorice now. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. I think either of those landing spots would be very, very hype. I think they both make a ton of sense. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. That's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Where do you think Licorice is going to end up in 2021? Also, how good do you think Fudge is going to do? If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on either one of those two topics, I would love to hear it in the comment section down below. Subscribe, stay updated on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.